Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to do, as you probably saw from the title and thumbnail, a full face of 3CE makeup. And if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that 3CE is one of my favorite brands of all time, not only just from K-beauty, but I love the quality of their products and how they perform, and they just mesh so well with my makeup style. So I have collected the brand for a while now, and I have basically enough for a full face, so I wanted to share with you guys a full face of 3CE. So for this video, I'm going to apply these products onto my face, do a little review in between, but at the end, overall come together and do a final review of everything, and I hope it helps you decide what you want to try out from 3CE yourself and whether you want to start your own collection. If you guys haven't heard of the brand 3CE before, it is a Korean makeup brand that consists of a wide range of products, and it is very popular not only in South Korea but also internationally. It used to be in Sephora AU, but I think it left the market 2 years ago. It is also a very popular product amongst makeup artists in Asia because of the longevity of the products and the wide range and diversity of shades and colors they offer. They are one of the brands, the fewer brands in Korea that actually do have a wider shade range, including their foundation. It's not very wide, but it's better in comparison to others, and they do have a lot of different products you can choose from finishes to different skin type and skincare targets, etc. So if you're combination, dry, they have a lot of different formulations. They're also one of those brands where they are popular on the Western market because they are more pigmented than usual K-beauty brands, which we think of as a wash of color, very subtle. These actually do have a lot of pigments in their products, whether it's their creams or powders. So that's something that really catches the attention of, I guess, a more international audience base. But enough talk, let's get to the makeup. Here are the products, and I can't wait to get into it. First of all, I'm going to prep my lips with a little bit of lip balm. You guys know I love doing this, and this is not 3CE. This is actually the Sky Bottle Blue Agave fragrance-free lip syrup. This is a go-to lately because, let me show you guys, it is a gel texture that is completely transparent, and it feels like what I expect the lip oil to be. It's completely thin, transparent, and so nourishing. It just glides onto your lips. It is so comfortable, and it feels like you have nothing on your lips. I really like this applicator as well. You can just take it on the go and use it. It is amazing. I absolutely adore it and highly recommend this. First off, to start off my makeup, I'm going to use the 3CE Makeup Fixer Mist almost as a primer. I love using a setting spray as a primer. I just think it's a great way to just freshen up your face and just to get everything all nice and moisturized. So this is a really good one. And whilst we let that dry, I'm going to show you guys the next product I'm going to use. This is the 3CE Velvet Fit Sponge in the shade Beige, and this is something that is quite viral on the Asian makeup market because it has a very skin-like finish that is full coverage and wears all day, especially under masks. Now this shade is actually a perfect match for my neck, but it is now the winter time, so I'm usually a bit more fair than I am when I bought this, so it does look a little bit dark, so keep that in mind. But it is a great foundation. I've used it plenty of times before, and my favorite way of applying it is with a spatula. It's nice and thin. All you need is just one dollop, and you can see that is enough for an entire face. It has a, I would say, quite thin consistency. You can see it is slightly melting off my hand and running down that, which means it's not super thick and it does adhere to skin nicely. This is our beloved spatula. What we're going to do is just take it on a slant and slightly pick up some foundation. Like so. There we are. And we're just going to spread it across our face like butter on toast. You can see the amount I picked up is enough for half of my face, which is awesome. I'm going to then take one of these dry sponges and just pat it in. You want to work fast with this foundation because it does dry into the skin, and the time I have been waiting for it is probably a little bit too long, but let's just pat it in. Make sure you blend all the way up to the forehead as well. And we're just going to repeat this for the other side of our face. Oh, the foundation almost completely slipped off my hand, so thank gosh I'm catching it in time. Like so, not too much, and then just spread it again all over your face. Make sure when you're spreading it, you're using an angle as well. You're not completely flattening it like so. You need to have it again on a slant. Be gentle across the eye area since that is the most gentle part of your face, but the rest you can be a little bit more tough. There we are. Now for the slightly more difficult part, we're going to do the crevices of our nose, etc. So we're going to take the tip, and what I'm going to do is this time flatten it and just apply the tiniest amount in areas I need, and make sure you go in an upwards motion because that fills in the pores more. Like that. And then again, dry sponge, pat it in. And guys, that is it. Our foundation is on. We can see it still looks super skin-like, but the coverage is definitely there. Really love it. Make sure to wipe the rest of this off of your hand because otherwise it will get to the rest of your makeup and you don't want that. You spend so much time, you don't want to ruin it. And you can see we don't need a lot of foundation. This is a great technique because it forces us to use less product, which is incredible. Now what I'm going to do is actually take a little bit of the cream blush from 3CE. This is the multi-pot in the shade Diatimer. It's a beautiful orange shade and it just warms up the cheeks amazingly. Again, this is a cream to matte finish. I do find 3CE to love their matte formulas for all their products, and I do love this one a lot. I'm going to take my Wayne Goss 13 cheek brush and just slightly dab it in there. We are going to put more powder blush on there later, but this is a nice layering technique. So just take the tiniest amount and dot it onto your face. This is a very pigmented product, so be careful. Now before we move on, I'm just going to take a slight bit of concealing and brightening on my face. I'm going to use the Lunar Tip concealer just because I feel like my under eyes need a little bit more coverage and just brightening in general. So let's do that real quick. Just like that. We don't need a lot, and I'm just going to use the dry sponge to pat it in very gently. Like that, my under eyes feel a lot more concealed and I am ready to powder. For powder, you probably saw me use this compact already, but this is the 3CE Makeup Fix powder in the shade Clear Light, and this is in collaboration with Toilet Paper, a magazine, not actual toilet paper. I was confused as well when I first saw it, but this is a great setting powder. I've been using it quite a bit. It is a little bit pigmented, but I got a shade that is quite similar to my skin tone, just a little bit brighter as well, and it is just a perfect matte setting powder. Very, you know, typical of a matte setting powder. It's not anything super special, but it sets the makeup, gets the job done, and it has a beautiful compact. You do actually get a double layer, so you have the powder and underneath you have a little cushion puff, so when you are traveling you can just use this and pat it all over the face. That's not my favorite way to apply powder, but on the go and traveling, that is great. I usually just like to take a big fluffy brush, swirl it in there, and gently brush all over my face. One thing to know, there is quite a lot of kickback in the pan, so there is a bit of fallout, but it's not that big of an issue. There we are, and now that we are done with the face, I am actually going to go in with the second layer of blush that we mentioned earlier. So I do have 3 of their powder blushes. It's one of my favorite formulas for powder blushes. I have the shades Nude Peach, Rose Beige, and Soft Salmon. This is a very wonderful summer color, really bright and beautiful, but I do love these nude colors the most, especially Nude Peach. This one's just absolutely incredible. And what I'm going to do is actually take the same fluffy brush that I did for my setting powder, swirl it in there, and apply it onto my face. I like to really smile and see where my blush is, and then just stop smiling and apply it underneath the eyes. I like to apply it quite high up because I feel like it gives my cheeks more of a plumping effect. And then whatever excess pigment I have, drag it towards the back of my cheeks. We can't forget the nose, cheeks, and the forehead. Before we move on to the next step, I just want to show you guys swatches of these blushes. So this is Nude Peach, the one I just used, Rose Beige, and a Soft Salmon. You can see they have a beautiful pigment and even tone to these blushes, and they just melt so seamlessly into your skin. It is beautiful. I would even say it airbrushes your skin. It's just a really great formula. I just like how subtle Nude Peach is. I used to love Rose Beige, but I do find in the winter time it's a bit too dark for me, but these are great blushes, and I definitely recommend you pick one of these up if you're looking for a matte powder blush. For eyeshadow, I do have 3 different palettes from 3CE, and they are all very popular viral products. The first one is Smoother. This is my favorite out of the 3. You can see how much I have used it, the pans, the dents, and everything. This is an all matte palette that is great for warm tones, and you can see it has a variety of different tones, shades, and even undertones. So you have like some olives, some red, some yellow. It's just a great versatile palette. You can get a full face out of this almost. You can do like brows, eyeliner, set under eyes, and just everything. Is a beautiful palette. I absolutely love it. The next one is the Overtake palette. This is quite popular in Asian countries because of, again, the warm tones, the mixture of different finishes. You have metallics, shimmers, mattes with shimmers. It is just a really nice versatile palette. I think it's described as a pumpkin shade because it leans more orange. Great for the autumn times and just colder months. It is absolutely gorgeous. And you do get a mirror in this edition. I got it in the Records of Soft Universe packaging. So you get a beautiful mirror in here. The rest, you don't have a mirror. And the latest one to my collection is the Delightful eyeshadow palette. This is majority shimmers and it has a more pink tone to it. You can see there are all types of shimmers, chunky, multi-chrome, and just straight up glitter. It is wonderful. Even the two matte shades are matte with shimmers. So this is just a great palette. I think that would go hand in hand with my all matte palettes. And I was in the tone and mood for some shimmers. So there is that. And let's do a look with it. First, I'm going to set the lids with the lightest bone shade in the smoother palette because this way I can get a flawless base. Next, I'm going to take the top matte shade from the Overtake palette and just deepen my creases. To deepen things up, I'm going to take the center orange matte with shimmer shade. I'm going to use this to not only deepen my outer corners but also smoke up the under eye. Taking the earlier brush just to blend and buff everything out because the corners seem a little bit harsh. Now I'm actually going to take the center shade from the smoother palette and just finish the shadows and lower lash line because it's looking like it just got cut off in the center here. Now to make things more interesting, I'm going to take some glitter. I'm going to take this bottom left glitter shade from the Delightful palette and put it on the inner corners. Now before we finish off this eye look, I'm going to do something slightly exciting. I do have a 3C lip and eye remover. This is a makeup remover, and what I'm going to do is actually create a negative space for my eyeliner. Something I haven't tried before, but I'm really keen to try something new with my eyeshadow. So I'm just going to shake it up because it does have an oil and water layer. So I'm going to do that. This is brand new. I haven't even opened it yet. There we are. So we gave it a good shake, and I'm going to put some on a detailed liner brush, pick some up on my liner brush, and then create a negative space wing. Okay, it didn't really turn out the way I exactly wanted it to look, but that's okay because I am going to take the darkest shade from the smoother palette. It is a complete matte brown, and I'm going to just place it underneath my eyeliner, or the transparent eyeliner I made earlier, and try to make the transparent wing look a little bit more obvious. Okay, it looks a lot cooler now. I am happy with that. I think it looks a lot better under the sunlight than it does in the camera. The camera doesn't really show it off as much, but in real life, it has a pretty clear edge and looks really cool. It really accentuates my double eyelid on this side, and this gives it more of a sharpness and edge. Now to top things off, I'm going to take a little bit more glitter on the inner corners of my eyes, and I'm thinking of taking this gold shade here, middle right, because this is a very fine shimmer, and just placing it in the corners to really emphasize on the snatched eye look. Oh, I really like this. This is such a shimmery shade. This is such a wet eyeshadow look. It is just so beautiful and shimmery. I absolutely adore it. Oh my, that is very pretty. I guess I'm feeling a little bit more adventurous. I was thinking maybe I can deepen the top of my eyeshadow a little bit more with some orange shade. So I'm thinking of actually going in with the middle orange and just deepen the top of my eyes. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. It definitely makes it more obvious. That is such a cool eyeshadow look. I'm actually digging it so much. I'm impressed and I'm in love with it. But now let's move on to the next stage of our makeup, which is mascara. This is the 3C Slim Fit Waterproof Mascara for clean volume lashes. And I have tried this. I do find the wand to be of a strange shape. It is very thin, but the curve makes it a bit hard to get clean curls. So, you know, I'm trying to fix that up and trying to get better at my technique, but let me quickly curl my lashes and apply the mascara. See, it gives your eyelashes very individual effects and it's quite wispy, which is pretty, but I just find the one shape a little bit strange. Whilst waiting for the mascara to dry, I'm going to take some of this matte brown from the smoother eyeshadow palette. Actually, I'll mix these two together and just quickly draw my brows. That's why I love the smoother palette. It's just so versatile. You can use it for literally anything. Ta-da! Now I feel like our eyes and everything complete. We can see the transparent wings a little bit more obvious now, and I really like how it looks. It just feels really, really cool. And now we're going to move on to the final step of our makeup, which are the lips. And for lips, I do have two different formulas from 3CE. I have first of all the Velvet Lip Tint, which I have the shade Going Right and Bitter Hour, and then I also have their, I can't remember what it's called, the Water Velvet Tint. Essentially it's a water tint and dries down something quite matte, whereas these two are more of a velvet finish right through and through application until it dries down, and it doesn't really ever fully dry down, so it does transfer. They're not my favorite formula, but I do like these shades quite a lot. Bitter Hour, Going Right, and Laydown. So you can see Laydown is very watery as a tint, but does dry down something matte. These two are more velvety. I really love this kind of coffee shade. It's just so pretty. And one thing to note is that they have a very strong artificial vanilla pound cake scent, which I absolutely despise. I cannot. Yep, it's very strong. It's almost like a body spray. I don't like it, but once you apply it on the lips, somehow that scent just disappears. It doesn't really do anything, so that's wonderful. Really like that. So for today's look, I think I'm going to do a combination of Bitter Hour and Laydown. What I'm going to do first is use Bitter Hour as a base on the center of my lid and Laydown almost as a lip tint for the cupid's bow and everything. I am going to keep my lip balm on just because anyway it's not going to dry down, so let's just keep it like that. How pretty is this? Like that on the center of my lower lips, and then use my pinky. That is so pretty. I love this shade. I actually got this shade because one of the main actresses in a drama I really liked lately, what was it called? Knockout, and she looks so cool. She just has so much like charisma and amazing awesomeness, girl boss vibes. She literally is like a mafia. But anyway, she's so cool. She says she loves using this lipstick during filming process, and I was like, if she has it, I need to have it. Like that. Very plump and full lips. I am absolutely loving this combination. I look so good right now, and I just love how this turned out. I do want to show you guys that even if I rub out these, because they are a tint, they do stay on my hands or lips for the duration of however until I cleanse my makeup. So yeah, that's something to note as well. That's what is one thing special about K-Beauty lip tint, is that they will stay there. So guys, here is the final result of using a full face of 3CE. I do want to mention that 3CE also does have some nail polish, which I do have. This is the shade NU01. It's very perfect everyday nude shade. I didn't apply it on my nails today because I'm giving my nails some break. I do like to give them a little bit of like a week to rest every once in a while. But this is a really nice everyday just nude for work. It really helps to elongate your nails and make it look like your nails are really healthy, and it is quite a sheer coverage kind of jelly nail polish. Maybe you need like 2 coats for it to really display. I would say once it's on the nails, it kind of looks like this shade here from the smoother eyeshadow palette. It's just a really pretty one, and I do like it a lot. So if you do want to try a nail polish, I think it's a good option. It's quite sheer, it's good for every single day, it's beginner friendly, and the price is right as well. Now let's do a recap of all of these products. First of all is the makeup setting spray. You can see from how much I've used and I do genuinely like it. I do find that it helps my makeup set and just mush really well together with each other, so definitely worth a try. I really like this one. And the foundation, like I said, I really like how it gives a skin-like finish, but the coverage is still there. It makes my skin look really even, and I do like that. That being said, I don't think it's necessarily my favorite formula. I do prefer a more dewy finish, but it is worth a try, especially if you have oily skin and you prefer a velvet matte finish. Really, really worth it and worth the hype. This setting powder, absolutely adorable. The packaging is what got to me. It just looks so pretty, and I do think it is really travel friendly with the compact and everything in it. That being said, it's not the most standout product, and it's not something I would definitely recommend everyone run out and buy, but it is good, especially if you love 3CE and you like buying makeup from one brand just to collect it and all that jazz. I do not think it is something that I would recommend over my EYHLYFE Pore Powder Packs or even like my NARS crystal translucent powder, but it is definitely still worth a try. And this cream blush is one of my earliest products from 3CE. I absolutely adore it. Just one thing to note is that it is very, very drying. It is very pigmented. Look how wonderful that is, and it blends really easily. You can see it just melts into your skin. But you do need to work fast with this product. It does dry quickly, and it is meant to be for the eyes and lips as well, but I don't recommend that because, oh, I don't mind it on the eyes. I think it's actually quite cute on the eyes, but for the lips, nah, it just dries the hell out of my lips. But as a cheek and eye tint, this is awesome. I really love it. Definitely give it a try and try it out. These blushes are probably my favorites from 3CE. They are just absolutely amazing. Some of the best powder blushes. You guys saw how pigmented it looked and how smooth it was just to blend onto the skin. These are some of the best formulations, and they are at a decent price as well. They just have they come with a huge range of colors as well, and I love all of these. Very user-friendly. A little bit goes a long way, and it's just absolutely incredible. Definitely one of the top things I would recommend from 3CE. That being said, these eyeshadow palettes are also absolutely killer. I think 3CE just does an amazing job with their powder matte products. I can see a strand of hair here, which is a bit annoying. Anyway, the smoother palette is my favorite out of all of them because it is very versatile, and personally I do wear more mattes than shimmers in my every single day makeup routine, and this is something that just guarantees a great look. No matter how much product you use, you can always blend and buff it out. And also, if you don't get the desired coverage, just put another layer. It layers really well. It doesn't go muddy, cakey, or heavy. It's just an absolutely amazing product. You can see from the usage how much I love it. I'm really hoping to hit pan on more of them soon, but this is probably my favorite, one of my favorite palettes, if not, it's definitely top 3 palettes in my collection just overall, and that is saying something because I have quite a lot of eyeshadow palettes. This is also a really great palette. I just do find that it's more dark. You don't have a light shade to really help brighten things up, but this is absolutely incredible. Love the formulation on the Overtake eyeshadow palette, and definitely worth the hype. Admittedly, this is not the best palette just because it has so many glitters. It lacks variation in the different formulations, so you can't really make a full look out of this unless you're just full-on glitter gal. But it is just a really nice filler palette to have in my collection, considering I have the other two, which I can mix and match with this palette, which is what I usually do. And I do love these finer shimmers in the formula. It is just so reflective and wet looking, absolutely gorgeous. So I definitely recommend you guys try out the 3CE eyeshadow palettes. These and the blush are my #1 recommendations. Just pick a color story you love because there are so many they have released. You are bound to find one that you love and you will not regret these. This lip and eye remover is honestly really good. It's a small travel size, so I can definitely use this when I'm going overseas, and it just does the job. It's really nice. It's very mild and gentle, and it just gets rid of my makeup. It's really good. Nothing bad to say about it, but I don't know. I don't think it's super special. I got it in a kit with the mascara, which is why I have it, but yeah, I wouldn't go out and buy it individually. This mascara is a really good formula. It is very long lasting. It is waterproof. I have tested it, but yeah, the one's just a bit difficult. I always get it onto my eyes. I just don't like that little dent on this first little hourglass bump situation. It just bumps into my eyes, so I always have to clean up, which is a bit irritating, but this is really pretty and I think it is worth it. Probably go in stores and have a look for yourself if you like this applicator. Personally, it's a little bit too long as well. It's not my favorite, but I do use it, and when I use it, I get a decent look. I just need to be really careful with it. The lippies, these are so comfortable and really pretty. The main thing is it does have a bit of transfer because it doesn't fully dry down, but I don't think it's a big issue. You can always reapply it. But that being said, I wouldn't reapply this over and over again because it does dry out your lips quite easily. So definitely have a balm or something underneath it to make it have a bit of a cushion. And yeah, these are just really pretty colors. Absolutely love them. But I do prefer this water tint a little bit more. I prefer something that's a little bit more glowy and glossy, and this, because it's a tint, it does stay on all day, so it's easier for me to reapply, and this doesn't dry out the lips. It's very, very hydrating and just an overall very comfortable formula, so I highly recommend this. And it's something quite unique as well. So this, alongside the blush and eyeshadow palettes, are my top 3 recommendations from the brand for you to try. Alright guys, that concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because this is one of my favorite brands and I love showcasing my favorite makeup products and brands to you guys. But aside from that is it for today's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content, and let me know down below what you would like to see from me next. But that is it for today, and I'll see you guys next time.